Welcome back to another edition of the Buffalo Bills franchise here on Madden 17, as we are getting ready to enter the offseason to get ready for Season 3 of the Bills franchise. But before we do that, I just want to say I want to apologize for not posting these past few days. I did not leave again. I did not quit YouTube. I don't know. It was the holidays. Christmas was on Sunday. Christmas Eve was on Saturday. I was at a party on Christmas Eve, and I just kind of hung out on Christmas Christmas Day, and all before that, I was just kind of hanging out and stuff. And I just didn't really work on any videos or anything. So that's just why I haven't posted in the past couple days. But I am back, and we are getting ready to hop into this off-season video. So without further ado, let's just do that. As first things first, the biggest name we had to re-sign this offseason was Tyrod Taylor. We signed Sammy Watkins, I believe it was in Season 1? It was either Season 1 or Season 2. It might have been Season 2. Like, the second we were able to re-sign people was when we signed Sammy Watkins. So we don't have to worry about re-signing Sammy Watkins at all. But Tyrod Taylor just won us a Super Bowl. He just won us the Super Bowl. He was the MVP of the Super Bowl. He had a great year. He cut down the INT totals from year 1, and he had a great year in year 2, led us to the playoffs. He is the focus of this offense. We run a vertical offense. We're running out of shotgun a lot. And Tyrod Taylor fits the system that I run perfectly with this team. And I just don't want to let him go. Even though he's 29 and he's going to start getting slower eventually, I just felt like he's too good to pass up. So Tyrod Taylor is going to be re-signed, but he did not actually initially accept our re-sign offer. He declined that, and he was like, nah, I'm going to go to free agency. And I didn't want to give him a franchise tag, because if I gave him a franchise tag, that would have been like, I think it was like a $25 million franchise tag or something like that, and it would have just wiped out like 95% of my cap room just like that, and we would have had nothing to do in free agency. And I didn't want to do that. So I did not franchise him, and instead we just re-signed him when we got to the free agency period. So skipping ahead a bit as we're going to go through the re-signings for here, but Tyrod Taylor was re-signed. He went into free agency, the portion of the offseason, but we brought him back for 4 years. I believe there was a team bidding on him as well, but we did bring him back for 4 years. So Tyrod Taylor, he's not going anywhere. He's still QB1 here in Buffalo. No need to worry about that. As the rest of the re-signs go, Charles Wortham, who is our backup strong safety, and is actually going to be giving Aaron Williams a run for his money at strong safety this year. Charles Wortham is being brought back for 3 years. Jeff Schwartz, who is our starting left guard, is also going to be brought back for a year. We run him do a year for a cheap deal. Nate Hogue, who is our backup free safety out of Notre Dame. He's a second-year guy now because he just finished his rookie season. He's going to be brought back for 2 years. And then Colby Listenby, the guy who shined in the preseason in the start of the Bills franchise and has been our main fourth guy in this Super Bowl winning season. And he did get a lot of time in Season 1. But Colby Listenby is going to be brought back for 2 years. So those are the re-signs that we did. We did re-sign a couple other guys as well, but they're just kind of like really deep down like depth players, and nobody really knows who they are anyways. They don't have a role in the franchise other than just they take up space. They may someday if somebody gets injured, but right now we're just going to skip over those guys. And now heading into free agency, like I said, the first thing we did was we brought back Tyrod Taylor. He signed that 4-year deal, so he's still going to be QB1 for a couple years to come here in Buffalo. We also signed offensive guard Spencer Long to a 1-year contract. He's probably going to be the backup from Jeff Schwartz at left guard. He's a really good run-blocking offensive guard. Another player we signed is a offensive tackle, another lineman, Sebastian Vollmer. He was signed to a 1-year deal. He's a veteran lineman, but he's still got pretty good stats, and he has like 93 awareness, which I think is very key for an offensive lineman. So he's probably going to be our starting right tackle this season, with Cordy Glenn being our best tackle, or best lineman in general, probably, at the left tackle position. Taze Sharp was also re-signed in the free agency period. He did not, I believe he actually declined our offer in the re-signed phase, and then he was brought back in the free agency phase, so we're technically just re-signing him. He's just going to be, he's in that group with Listenby, where it's 1 and 2 are Watkins and McCollum, and then 3 is Robert Woods, and then like 4 and 5 kind of just, you can switch them in and out. 4 and 5 are Taze Sharp and Colby Listenby. So he was brought back for 2 years. He's back on the team. And then we also signed a couple other guys as well, but the only one I'm really going to go into in depth with is Alan Branch, a veteran nose tackle. We brought him since we are now running the 3-4 defense. And if Marcel Darius goes down with an injury, we don't really have any 3-4 D-men. We don't have any 3-4 D tackles. We have a bunch of 3-4 DNs, but we don't have any 3-4 D tackles, so I wanted to focus on that in the offseason, and we brought Alan Branch in. And of course, we also signed a couple other guys as well, so you'll see them scrolling on the screen right now, but I'm not going to go too in-depth with that to them. And now moving on to the NFL Draft. I think 2018 NFL Draft, is it, at the end of Season 2, heading into Season 3? I believe that's it. The 2018 NFL Draft, I'm going to be completely honest, it was a disappointment. We did not really get too many good players in it, and the ones we did were all late-round picks. Our first-round pick, I know that LaShawn McCoy is aging. He's going to start getting slower. He probably already is slower. He's probably not going to be the same running back he has been the past 2 seasons here for Season 3. So we wanted to replace him and draft a running back first round. And this guy actually had good, said he was projected to go like around where I was picking. And I drafted him, not good. 70 overall, normal development. He's not the best, but we're probably still going to give him a chance in the preseason, give him some carries there in the regular season, see if we can develop him. But he's not the running back we would have wanted in the first round. So Tooney Sharp is his name, halfback out of South Dakota. And then in round 2, we just kind of drafted a best available because there was a lot. Probably the biggest reason why we didn't really draft well was because there just wasn't that many good players in this draft. And in round 2, this guy said it was a really good value pick, and it just did not go that way. Round 2, we took Mike Falk, a 66 overall receiver out of UAB. And then in round 3, we took a 68 overall D-end Oscar Gage, a 3-4 D-end out of Cincinnati. And then we had 2 round 4 picks and 2 round 5 picks. And our first round 4 pick was probably our best pick of the draft. Well, definitely our best pick of the draft. He is a quick development offensive guard named Antoine DeBose out of South Dakota. He's a 79 overall, and he's going to be our starting right guard this season, as Patrick Omame is going to be shifting over to center because Eric Wood was not brought back. So Antoine DeBose is actually from South Dakota as well, so he blocked for Tooney Sharp, who was our first-round pick. So they're both going to be Buffalo Bills this season. Our second fourth-round pick was offensive tackle out of Nevada, 68 overall, Eric Blackburn. And then moving on to the 5th round, we took 2 Alabama players, neither of them really too special. 68 overall halfback Marion Oglesby out of Alabama was the first one in the 5th round. And then after him, it was defensive tackle Willie Harold, who is a 69 overall. Our round 6 pick, we traded away our round 7 pick, I forget what for, but our round 6 pick was our last pick of the draft, and we got a 72 overall defensive tackle named Dexter Davis out of Syracuse, and he's probably going to be competing for a spot on the roster. He's probably going to end up on the roster. He could be a 3-4 D, and he could be a 4th or a 3-4 defensive tackle, depending on what I want him to go as. He could probably play both, but right now he's a defensive tackle. We could shift him to D-end if we need some help at that position. But Dexter Davis is he's probably going to make the team, as he is a pretty good player at 72 overall, especially for a round 6 pick. So the draft overall, it was probably disappointing because we only got really two, maybe 3 usable players, like right off the bat. Tooney Sharp probably won't be usable in the regular season. He's going to get a ton of time in the preseason. You'll see the preseason roster scrolling through right now. You'll notice that Jerick McKinnon is actually there at running back. With LeGarrette Blount leaving because I did not want, I think he has like 78 speed or something now, so I did not want him back. And now we've got 2 speedsters or McCoy is not really a speedster anymore, he's just kind of a shifty guy as he's getting older. But McCoy and then Jerick McKinnon, who is also very shifty but also fast. He was signed at a free agency, as he was one of those guys who did not get picked up well throughout the free agent in the offseason. So Jerick McKinnon, 1-year deal. He is now our number 2 in our running backs. Bram Estandia and Lucky Smiley are going to be the quarterbacks you're seeing in preseason. Tyrod Taylor will not be playing the preseason at all. He is going to get that off. We're not going to risk him getting injured. So Bram Estandia and a guy we signed named Lucky Smiley, who is a very fast, not very good at throwing, but a very fast quarterback that we signed, and he'll be getting shown off a lot in the preseason video. You will see as the next video that I post. Tooney Sharp, like I mentioned, he's going to be getting a ton of time at running back in the preseason. Dexter Davis, he's probably going to be getting a lot of time at defensive tackle in the preseason. And then it'll be interesting to see through preseason if I'm going to end up starting Charles Wortham or Aaron Williams at strong safety. Because Aaron Williams, I believe, is 29. I think he has one more year left on his contract. And then Charles Wortham is he's like 23. He's still getting better, and he has a chance to overtake Aaron Williams. So Aaron Williams could be on his way out in Buffalo, but it'll be interesting to see if it's going to happen this year or if it's going to be into like maybe next season or into the future. So with that being said, that's going to wrap things up here for this edition of the Buffalo Bills franchise, the offseason edition. The next video you're going to see is going to be the preseason recap highlights. I've been your host, Jerseyborn, and I'm saying goodbye.
Introvert, but I insert a few wow-wows. No Nick Cannon, David Banner when I powwow. Hennessy, but hold the hip, I'm about to have a brown out. Clowns run around with the makeup on their face to that. I'm astringent, I've been this way. New balls, new beats, yeah, that's me all day. New calls,